All right, good morning. This is Peter Reese talking to you this morning from our Western New York Field of Dreams podcast studio in suburban North Buffalo. We're just south of the main business district on Hurdle Avenue, which is now the center of the city of Buffalo, if not Western New York, if not the world. We've got a guest with us today, Tim Vonder, who is a veteran of something or other. Tim, introduce yourself. Huh? You know what? You need some light on your face, pal. You look like one of those anonymous guys. Who can you have a flashlight you can shine on yourself?
I have a VA disability. We don't want to go too far with unmasking my personal self.
You're not in the witness protection program or anything. We've seen you on podcasts where we actually saw your face before. All right, Tim, your background. Yeah. You're a military vet, and you actually have combat injuries. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
12-year vet between the United States Air Force and the New York Air National Guard. Activations for different operations. Operation Southern Watch in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, back in 98 and 99. Operation Enduring Freedom in 2001, and Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2008. Got out in 2009.
Okay, I guess you took some hits in combat. What happened? Or don't you wish to say?
Don't wish to say.
Okay, not a problem. What job did you have? Were you a drone pilot? Were you a commander of a nuclear force? What did you do?
I was security forces, so basically the grunt of the Air Force.
So were you an MP or what?
Yes. So there's law enforcement aspect to it, and then there is what we would consider kind of a infantry aspect to it.
Okay, but
So depending on the need, you were trained for both sets of operations.
Okay, well, did you when the Army and the Navy and the Air Force were fighting? Did you have to break up the fights in the bars or anything like in the movies, or doesn't that happen?
Does happen. I'm not one of the ones that would go break it up, though.
Okay, you would be one of the guys breaking up the bar then. Is that that's what you're telling us?
I plead the fifth because I'm a civilian at this point.
Okay, so the statute's probably run anyhow. I just want to share with you that I am a Vietnam-era veteran of 2 years of mandatory Air Force ROTC at UB. And you know what I learned in 2 years of AFROTC?
That everybody should thank you for your service?
No, that I didn't want to be in the Air Force. Okay, that was no question in my mind when I was done. Now, I liked the Army Air Corps, because I always felt that nothing can stop the Army Air Corps. Off they go into the wild blue yonder. But once it got to be Air Force, it was no fun for me. All right, listen, what we're going to talk about today is the Western New York National Cemetery. I'm pulling up a Google Maps extract from it. This is north of Pembroke. Multi-million-dollar brand new facility, which I think it's about 85 million invested already. Beautiful facility, very, very nice. Google Maps hasn't updated the satellite shot, so they kind of draw in ghost roads and stuff. But when this gets done, it's going to be spectacular, and it's quite impressive. The problem we have here, and what's not impressive, is they've already killed 2 veterans and put them into the cemetery, sadly enough, prematurely. The cause of the problem is the intersection that you see the two roads here. There is Indian Falls Road and Allegheny Road, which is also Route 77. And Route 77 is a heavy truck route, and the cars are smoking on there, and you'll see it. Whereas Indian Falls is kind of a two-lane country road. The main entrance to the cemetery is on Indian Falls Road, and you can see it with the ghost lines that go up there, the twin lanes that get you into the cemetery. We went there, my wife and I, because there was a series of articles in the Buffalo News about it, how it was poorly designed and apparently intentionally poorly designed. And in fact, a good guy and a friend of mine, Peter Rizzo, who's a VA employee, was essentially a whistleblower about the unsafe nature of this intersection and the design of the cemetery. And you'll see it quite graphically, I think. I have a nice gimbal stabilized camera which I can hold at eye level so you can see what a driver sees coming out of the cemetery, trying to cross or get onto Route 77. And we also did a shot on Route 77 of what a trucker would see coming up a hill, which you don't see in this map, going from the south, which is the bottom of the map, normal north map. Mm-hmm. And I think what I want to do is just get this video up here. I'll click it in and hold it real quick. Okay, I got to get this back to starting point. So this is me in my trusty Chevy, videoing what it looks like if you're a veteran pulling out of here. Now, on a serious note, I want to say, even a crusty old buzzard like me, when I go to the cemetery to visit graves of relatives or friends or whatever, I get a little misty-eyed and I'm a little emotional when I leave. And I'm certain that veterans, have the same emotional response. So, I'm not trying to justify some sort of compromised driving, but if people pull out of this and are a little bit distracted, no one can be surprised. Cemeteries are emotional places, unless you're somebody like Tim Vonder and you have no emotions. So anyhow, let's roll a little video, and I may stop it here, but if you want to comment over it or you want me to stop, just let me know. Okay, so basically we're going to pull out of the cemetery, hang a left on Indian Falls Road, and head towards the intersection with Route 77. Here we go.
We are going to be driving out of the cemetery.
That's me talking.
Turning left coming out of the cemetery. Visibility to right. Visibility to left.
So now we're driving west on Indian Falls.
Trying to give you pretty much a driver's eye view here.
I'm a great guy.
We're coming up, the stop sign on the right up ahead is the infamous stop sign. And camera
look to the left a little.
About eyeball level here. I am going to take this infamous left turn, but I want you to see what my visibility is to the left here. Now, even if I stop at the stop sign, visibility was terrible along the way. I think I'm going to want to run this route again, but this is my visibility to the left, and it's not good because the road is coming up here, and even if I inch forward out into the intersection, it's not good. Vehicles are coming out of a dip to the left here, and it is distracting. Here is a big truck, and I wish I could sit here and wait for it, but I can't. Therefore, I'm going to pull out into the road here. I think I'd like to be back at that stop sign. I don't think there's much question. that there is limited visibility at that intersection to your left when making a left-hand turn. So that's clearly a problem here. I'm going to...
Okay, now I did 4 segments here, and there's not much transition. It's a little jerky, so you'll see the jerky transition, and we'll try not to confuse you.
And make another run now. I'm
Okay.
going to do a turnaround here and go back up and do that again with more emphasis on turning. But you can see that this is a downhill shot. We are now turning around on 77, and we're going to be going south.
Okay, now I lied there. I'm now going north, so don't listen to that lion SOB. And the cemetery main and the main building are off to the left. It's not, I'm lying again, off to the right. I'm looking to the right and saying left.
This will give you the idea as to what kind of visibility somebody driving along 77 has here.
You see the cars pulling up?
Again, camera's about at eye level for me. I'm going to go right here, but I guess I'd like to have this staged with a vehicle sitting at the stop sign. That is the stop sign over there. We're now turning right onto Indian Falls Road from a very short turning lane.
Just real quick, the only accommodation they made to make this intersection any safer was to put a too short right turning lane in. And you know, it's just this is cheap. Now we're headed back on Indian Falls the other way, back to the cemetery entrance.
I'm going to turn this around again and do another pass, this time emphasizing what the visibility is to a driver who is coming around. I am going to do a short loop on the entrance to the cemetery and come out of it again here.
So we've been here before.
Yep.
And this time it's like I'm staring out the driver's side window, kind of with the camera.
Okay,
You see the big
down
berm?
Indian Church Road again to the scene of the fatal accident. Look at my visibility of Route 77. I'm looking directly out of my driver's window. I am now stopped at the stop sign, and I can barely see the roofs of vehicles that are coming up the hill here. I'm now going to back up because I can. There's no one behind me, and the front of my car is now even with the stop sign. The stop line, by the way, I don't know if you can see it, the stop line is way out there, right at the edge of the road. It's much further than I would normally look for a stop sign or stop line. This is what it looks like. I'm going very slowly now. I'm driving very slowly here now. This is what your visibility is to the left at this intersection. This is a terrible intersection, and I am now essentially, the front of my car is at the stop line, but I feel like I'm sticking my nose into Route 77. As you can see, I'm actually I'm across the right turn lane here. This is not a safe intersection. I do not feel comfortable here. And I'm going to get across the road again and make another pass. All right, I am doing a walking video now. I am walking up to the stop sign.
Even at walking speed, doesn't look good.
Again, even if you're going at walking speed, this is what your visibility is to the left as you approach. I'm getting closer and closer to the stop sign. And actually, I'm human walking eye level, so I'm probably higher than vehicle visibility. But anyhow, back here is the stop sign. So I am now at the stop sign, and the stop line is out.
Now, just to stop this for a second, I didn't notice this until I watched the video afterwards. Everybody's stopping at the stop line because they know damn well they can't see from the stop sign. So they got to get at least 20 feet further out to be able to see anything.
ahead of me. What this says to me is, whoever shot this,
I meant by that, who shot the stop line.
knew damn well that the stop line is 21 feet in front of the stop sign. Whoever set up this stop sign and the traffic markers here knew very well that you couldn't see adequately when you were back at the stop sign. This intersection is an accident looking for a place to happen, as far as I'm concerned. And the people on Route 77 have no problem driving like a bat out of hell. So,
Everybody's doing 65.
I think I'm going to end this here because I've got enough to give you an idea. I'm now standing back by the stop sign. I think most people would stop by the stop sign.
I think I lied.
Now videoing coming upon the cemetery from the side.
Okay, this is the last segment. Now I'm a truck driver, and I'm coming up the hill and concentrating on trying to see if somebody's coming out of the intersection.
South on Route 77. And that's the main building over there. And essentially we are at my eyeball level here, seeing what I see as I come up the hill. I'm doing about the speed that one would do.
Let me give a look. I'm doing about 60.
And you really do not see a damn thing over there coming off of Indian Falls Road. Anybody that comes from behind that berm on Indian Falls Road is going to be a surprise to you. So the idea that someone who...
All right, now I'm going to stop this here. Not that far further north up the road, suddenly we're in 40-mile-an-hour zone. If we'd move that a half mile further south, it would greatly improve the safety of this intersection. It just would have been simple.
is driving on
I think this is
77
very
can
close
see
to the
someone or can know whether they stopped at that sign or not. I don't think that's realistic. I think it shoots big holes in it. Signing off.
Okay, so that's Captain Kangaroo signing off there. Okay, Mr. Veteran Man, how do you feel about the fact that two 69-year-old veterans who apparently were at the cemetery visiting the grave of one of their old buddies were prematurely clobbered and just blasted at that intersection by a big truck and prematurely interred there?
Well, I can only imagine, our elected officials. We've got a vast plot of land there, and, what's a vast plot of land for a national cemetery if you don't have occupants? I think that the engineering from this perspective was done to save a couple shekels somewhere, and it looks as if they went to engineering from maybe in the horse and buggy days.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me that's the only conclusion you can reach. I guess the best solution was a traffic circle at Indian Falls and Allegheny Road. And that would have cost about $2.5 million. And that's expensive, but this cemetery is probably going to cost way, north of $100 million by the time they get done. And just some really simple things like move that 40-mile-an-hour speed limit sign further back, to the south would do a lot. How about a dangerous intersection sign on 77 and Indian Falls? You'd only probably need one coming, in the northerly direction on Route 77. I mean, this just isn't that difficult. And like I say, Pete Rizzo has had his career shortstop. He complained about this when the bosses wouldn't do anything about it. He went over their head, and he and his boss essentially got, well, they weren't canned, but they're now assigned to painting fire hydrants. You know, they're assigned to duties which effectively end their careers. Yeah. And Jerry Zremski did a 5-part article on this. There is administrative proceedings that are going on. There may be litigation over this in the future. But it seems to me we've compounded the bad design and the bad actions by VA officials with punishing people who were trying to do the right thing. And as you know, go ahead, Tim.
I just want to say a couple things. First of all, understanding, and I commend Peter Rizzo and his boss. I will state for the record, I've never seen Peter Rizzo and Peter Reese in the same room together. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out if it's one and the same or if it's two different individuals.
You make a very good point. And you know what else? I have never seen Putin and Peter Rizzo together at the same time. So think about that for a minute. Mull that over. They could easily be the same person. And they're
that is
a good guy and others a bad guy, and they're just trying to trick us.
I will state also that sometimes when you have people that are working for federal agencies, they are given certain directives, whether it be cost-cutting measures because they have to send the cost to whatever pork barrel project the elected officials decide on, but also sometimes it's a battle of the civil service system that not are you getting the best and brightest sometimes.
Well, civil service system as well as the political system. Now you're
we always elect the best and brightest. Let's not go mincing words here.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm not the kind of person that would say poop if I had a mouthful, or shit either. Yeah, this is tragedy that didn't need to happen, and it could happen right now this morning. And then again, the idea that somebody might be a tad distracted after visiting a military cemetery, just hello, somebody with beneath this crusty, gnarled old exterior, I just want you to know, there beats a crusty, gnarled interior, okay? But even with that, serious, when I visit relatives' graves, I'm a little bit teary-eyed when I leave, and it's just, this is a no-brainer. Now, by the way, these are guys that design cemeteries. They don't know this? It seems to me they should get jobs in strategic planning at the city of Buffalo because they can't handle designing cemeteries. Rant over.
I would go even further. I'd let them run permits and inspections in the city of Buffalo.
You know what? That's a great idea. Let's put them together and run it all. That way we could hand out, let's make a deal. Have you ever heard of transactional government? Yeah. All right, we're getting off topic. Tim, anything good happened in your life? Let's try to finish this on a happy note.
Everything is good. I'm back in Buffalo, which makes everything a heck of a lot more fun. I've happened to see videos after our podcast of my name being mentioned in certain places, and I'm glad that the reaction is quite the same as it was 10 years ago.
Okay, now you realize after that Slaughterhouse podcast we did, well, first off, it got annihilated in the hearing for the special use permit. It's just I've never seen anything get beat that bad, and it was. I had an old lawyer friend who said they got beat so bad it wasn't even a good lesson. You know, you couldn't even learn from it. But the free lunch offer with you, for ways that the city of Buffalo could screw it up more, we got no takers at all. And I don't know if that's because nobody wants to have lunch with you or because they can't think of a way the city could mess it up worse. But I mean, there hasn't been a whisper, not a whimper. I mean, there's got to be somebody hungry out there who would like a free lunch.
I'm an entertaining person, and I will tell you right now, it's not that they don't want to go to lunch with me. The city can't find a better way to screw that up.
Amen. Amen,
They
brother.
exhausted all avenues.
Why don't we sign this one off and until the next one. Thank you.
Roger that, sir.